Welcome to Get Paid for Your Pad, the definitive show on Airbnb hosting, featuring the best advice on how to maximize profits from your Airbnb listing, as well as real-life experiences from Airbnb hosts all over the world. Welcome. We are your hosts, Josefa Kapadia and Jasper Rivers.
Get paid for your pad. 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 Get paid for your pad.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Get Paid for Your Pad. Today we have a very special episode. It's a little bit different from what we normally talk about. We've got Deven Chase on today, and Deven is a real estate expert. And today he's going to talk about what sort of analysis goes into purchasing a property with the short stay market in mind. So without further ado, Deven, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show. It's an amazing opportunity. I'm ready to get right into it.
Awesome. All right, well, we're happy to have you. And so let's start off, as we always do, with your background. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. Well, I've been living in Las Vegas for the past 10 years, and I've been involved in the real estate industry for those same 10 years, starting with mortgage processing and mortgage underwriting for the most part. And then I went on to sell mortgages as a mortgage broker for a big financial institution. And it got to the point where I felt like I had done everything regarding selling a home except for actually selling a home. So I took my customer service skills and my book of business, and I decided to become licensed, in which I've been selling homes now for the past couple years. And that's where we're at.
And have you been in Vegas the entire time throughout your entire career, or you've been all over?
For the past 10 years, I've been in Las Vegas. So prior to that, I was in another industry, in another land.
I see.
Hey, Devin, I'm just curious. Has the real estate market in Las Vegas, has it been hit hard by the crisis in 2009?
Absolutely. Yeah, the crisis devastated Las Vegas. We started seeing signs in 2007, actually. And as a mortgage underwriter, the writing was on the wall, if you will. But there still was purchases made. There were purchases made in real estate, and through 2007, 2008, and even 2009, I witnessed a lot of real estate purchases at the very top of the market before the recession, and I feel like those buyers were hit the worst. And through 10 and 11, we kind of watched what they call a Darwinian flush, if you will. It was a term that I didn't necessarily understand when I first heard it. I didn't like it when I first heard it, but I have come to understand it and witness and watch it. And that's what we've seen.
Is it kind of survival of the fittest?
Exactly.
Right.
So,
and has it recovered a lot?
Yes. I feel as though it has. In the market right now, in my business, I see maybe 1 to 2 out of 10 distressed properties on the market, which is significantly lower than what I've seen in past years.
And I understand that now, of course, you can probably dive into this a little bit more, but I've heard that there's been an influx of cash to revive, in particular, the downtown area as of late. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Only from what I've read in headlines and in local news and what I've kind of heard in the industry. But yes, there have been a lot of purchases. Downtown has seemingly become more and more revitalized. There's a new initiative that's taken place down there that has brought a new sense of awareness and appeal to downtown. And there have been some owners, some landowners, business owners, homeowners that have stood to gain in this new awareness that's taken place down there. It's actually very exciting.
That's cool. And just for our listeners who are kind of sort of familiar with Vegas, of course, there's a distinction between downtown and the Strip. They're separate. The Strip is where most tourists usually go when they go to Vegas. But there's a whole nother area downtown which is sort of having a rebirth. And from what I've heard, it is very exciting and really cool. So
Yeah, I think it's historic.
oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Not to cut you off, it's quite historic.
The downtown area. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the downtown revitalization, I feel, is a historic feat, if you will.
Oh, I was wondering, Deven, what's your expertise particularly in the short stay market in Las Vegas?
Well, I've witnessed in my business many clients that inquire and have purchased for the sake of investing, and they debate back and forth whether it should be long-term stay or vacation destinations. And I have seen success for my clients that have purchased and put their properties into the short stay market, be it Airbnb, be it other websites, or be it by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, because I used to rent out my apartment in Amsterdam on long term for 6 to 12 months or even longer. And when I switched to Airbnb, I made way more money, like more than 2 times as much within 3 or 4 months or so. Do you see a similar thing happening with your clients or not?
I can't speak exactly to what they're bringing in as far as through Airbnb. But what I can say is that the short stay market here in Las Vegas is of course thriving. The people that come to Vegas, tourists and visitors that come, are looking at many more unconventional ways to enjoy the city. And when I say unconventional, I'm saying it in regard to their accommodations while they're here. So we have seen differences. Instead of just going to get a hotel room, we have witnessed, friends and family use Airbnb or use timeshares or use their inside connections to get better hotel room rates. So I say all that to say that nowadays accommodations are an important part of budgeting for your trip to Las Vegas.
Now, with Las Vegas and the Strip, when most people come, let's say they want to have relatively close proximity to the Strip or actually beyond the Strip, what have you seen with respect to Airbnb or other short stay rental apartments or units that are maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes away from the Strip?
Absolutely. For budgeting concerns, I mean, when it comes down to how much the visitor wants to spend, they can spend a significant amount less and stay in Las Vegas, maybe 10 or 15 minutes away from the Strip, which is very close, get a different perspective and view of how the locals live, which is very interesting. And, the common misconception about who we are as locals is that, all we do is patronize casinos and so on and so forth. But actually, Las Vegas is a beautiful city and town outside of the Strip. So anyways, a visitor gets to experience that at Airbnb, and you get to see everything else that Las Vegas has to offer, as well as the Strip being in close proximity.
Right. And, we just stayed in Vegas for a little over a month. It was Jasper and I, along with about 4 other friends, we were all in a house in Vegas. Now, we had never done this before. We'd always stayed on the Strip every time we'd gone. But it was a really fun experience. And that's when we stayed at a house. It was in an area called Spring Valley. So we were about 10 or 15 minutes away. And it was really comfortable and it was really fun. Something I hadn't thought of doing before. But now, at least every time I drive to Vegas, I'm going to absolutely do that. So I just much preferred it.
Totally. And why not? You get all the space you want, couple minutes down from the Strip, and then you really get to hang out in a place that was decorated. It seems like it was custom put together just for for you, right? For that amount of time that you were there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. And she did, well, we've talked about her before. We've actually had her as a guest on the show. Her name is Desiree, but she did a really terrific job of not only customizing the experience, but just being very responsive, being a good host, and the house was beautiful. And I mean, not to mention, we got a terrific deal. So it was a really pleasant experience.
It sounds like a win-win-win-win situation there.
Yeah, and the neighborhood that we're in was actually really nice. There's some good, nice restaurants, and it was quiet, no traffic. So I actually really enjoyed staying off the strip.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to ask you, Deven, is let's say somebody wants to buy a property in Vegas with the purpose of renting it out on the short term, and maybe on Airbnb in particular. Now, do you have any advice or tips for people who are looking to do this?
Certainly. I would look at what is on the market right now in the city, see what might interest you as a B&B user. For instance, I recently used Airbnb and went out to Pasadena just for an award show. And as opposed to getting a hotel room, we found a cute little spot in Eagle Rock. It was 4 or 5 minutes away from the venue in Pasadena. But needless to say, we stayed there for a great deal. It was it came with a bottle of wine. The host was amazing, but it was significantly less than the other properties nearby that were listed, and significantly nicer. And so that worked out to be advantageous to us, my girlfriend and I. But at the end of our stay, from a business standpoint, I felt the need to tell her, hey, you know what? It might be a good idea to raise your rate. I mean, you could stand to gain because let's face it, the amount that we paid for one night to stay at her place, plus the bottle of wine that she purchased for us. I mean, the margin of profit could have been higher, and she felt that. So now to bring that back to Las Vegas, I say check out what your competition is, if you will. When I say competition, to see what's out there, see where you can be competitive, but you don't want to underprice yourself or price yourself out of the market. That's very important. And then look at the neighborhoods that you're looking to purchase, just the locations. So come out, go with your realtor, and do your own due diligence. I think that's very important for starters.
Right, that makes sense. And it's interesting you mentioned the pricing. I think that's one aspect of the whole Airbnb hosting that a lot of hosts have some trouble with, because how do you come up with the right price? How do you optimize your income by setting the right prices? This is something that most people just don't know, and we talk about this in the book a lot. So you're saying do your due diligence, and so you had a really good Airbnb experience yourself. Do you have you ever considered hosting on Airbnb or?
Sure. Vegas is a different beast, and it always is, and it is in every regard, especially when it comes down to commerce, I feel. So really, if you're looking at investing in Las Vegas, there is great opportunity. I say reach out to someone who is knowledgeable in what it is that they do pertaining to real estate in order to really be able to capitalize on your purchase.
So I have a couple of specific questions. Now, these are related to the Vegas market in particular. So the first thing I want to know is how important, if you're looking at property in Vegas, how important is proximity to the Strip?
I'd say for the purpose of Airbnb, I think, and for the purpose of the visitor who's coming out here from wherever they're coming from, Southern California, internationally, or from the East Coast, they want to be able to have access to the Strip, at least. So I say proximity is important. There are a lot of other things you can do as far as hiking, go see Red Rock, Mount Charleston, maybe take a ride down to the Grand Canyon. But being close to the Strip is, let's face it, I mean, that's what you want to do when you come out here, at least.
And is 10 minutes too far, 15 minutes too far? Where would you say is a cutoff where it's going to severely impact your earnings?
I'd say 15 minutes. I mean,
Okay.
fortunately for Las Vegas, nothing in Vegas is more than, I think, 20 minutes away. I swear I could get from one side of this valley to the other side. If I had all green lights, I think I can get there in like 20 minutes. That's my my estimation.
Okay. All right. So another thing that Airbnb hosts often deal with is condo associations. If it's not a house, if it's part of a condo, how are condo associations in general in Vegas with respect to short stay rentals? Do they have problems with it, or usually are they cool with it?
Oh, well, HOA is something that you just have to deal with. As far as the price is concerned, I mean, they vary. From what I've seen in my business and from my clients, there hasn't been many issues. There haven't been many issues regarding short stay or Airbnb, unless you're getting into properties on the strip that you might be wanting to list on Airbnb. After 10 days, for most of these HOA organizations, after 10 days is considered extended stay, where you might be looking into a lease type of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And just for our listeners out there, if you don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Deven, HOAs, that's homeowner associations, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And these are usually, this is usually what you have to deal with when you purchase a condominium, when you're sort of a unit that's part of a larger building or organization. And they'll often have rules that govern what people can and can't do on a very broad or general level.
Right. And just to go just one level deeper, if you see, the acronym CIC, it's a common interest community. And they give you the CCNRs, which are those rules that you were speaking about, the covenants and restrictions that we just spoke of.
Okay. Last question on what to look for. Let's say you're buying a house in Vegas. I know it gets super hot in the summer, especially right now. We're coming into August. Pool or no pool? How critical is having a pool for short stay purposes?
I think that it's not too critical. Then again, I'm not necessarily the one coming to Las Vegas as a visitor. So I'll say that many people want at least to have a pool. But what that does on the buyer's end is kind of dwindles down your options. You would think that every home in Las Vegas has a pool just because of the weather, that we get out here. But that's just not the case. So when you're looking at properties, when you add a pool as necessary criteria, purchase criteria, rather, it does dwindle down your options. But I mean, to each his own. I know visitors do ask for a pool, though. But they go. There's resorts everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's a lot of pool parties in Vegas too. So and most people come to Vegas to party. So no lack of pools in general.
Right.
Our house didn't have a pool, and at first I thought, well, it would be nice to have a pool, but I don't know. Like in the end, not sure how many times you're going to use it, because when it's 115 degrees, you also kind of just want to stay inside and be cool in the air conditioning.
Right. Exactly. So but you thought that after the fact. While you were there, you were kind of like, oh man, we got shorted. Where's the pool?
Right. But again, like it's obviously it has to do with the price, right? If the price is a lot lower and there's no pool, then that's also might also be a good option.
Certainly. And I'll add this, since we're just still talking about the pool and purchasing. General rule of thumb is about $10,000 for the appraised value of a property with a pool compared to one without a pool is around $10,000.
Okay, not too bad. Is there any sort of cautionary pieces of advice that you might have for people who are looking to buy, something that people want to be aware of and mistakes that they shouldn't make?
Absolutely. I'd say look into, make sure your property has been well taken care of. Do your due diligence and get your home inspections, and whatever additional inspections that you care to get, whether it be pest inspections, so on and so forth. You want to make sure that you have to do, you do minimal maintenance to the property so that you can immediately stand to gain in this investment. So that would be my biggest tip, is to get a good property. And the only way to do that is to do your homework and spend the extra couple $100 here and there to get home inspections.
Okay, and obviously you have amazing expertise in this area. You've been doing this for a long time. If people are interested in making a purchase, especially for the short stay market, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can reach me at Deven, Deven, at chaseyourestate.com. So that's like Chase, like the bank, your, Y-O-U-R, estate as in real estate.
Okay, awesome. So
I have a website. If I can give you the web address.
Absolutely, go for it.
Certainly. EliteHomes.us.
Okay. All right. So elitehomes.us. So all that contact information that you've given will be in our show notes. And guys, you can get the show notes at www.getpaidforyourpad.com/podcast. Also, for more information on how to be an awesome host on Airbnb, you can check out the first 3 chapters of our book at www.getpaidforyourpad.com. And finally, just one more announcement. Our book is coming out on Kindle on August 26th. Now, if you get on there on August 26th, you can get a free copy of our book. That's right. It will be completely free if you get up there on August 26th. Deven, thank you so much for being on the show. This was really helpful. I know that purchasing property, particularly in Vegas, is something that interests me with respect to the short stay market. It's a great area. I love the city. I always have so much fun when I'm there, and we had an incredible experience in June of this year. So I was really excited to hear all your awesome tips, and I know you and I are going to be talking more about this. But thank you again. It was a pleasure. And guys, for more episodes, check back with us every Monday and Thursday. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much, you guys. And next time you come out to Vegas, hit me up.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Deven.
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
Get paid for your pad. 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 Get paid for your pad.